Howdy, folks. I'm a cool brown-headed cowbird carefully clutching captured cowbells.
I'm Amber.
And here are more cowbells that we acquired through dubious means. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for kicking my stepsister out for stealing my money to buy stuff for her son? I'm a 20-year-old female, and I'm married to my now husband, a 20-year-old male. We have 2 children together, both female twins. My stepsister, a 26-year-old female, has been in their life since they were born and has been a huge help up until she got a boyfriend who got her pregnant. She recently gave birth to her son, and her boyfriend and her broke up soon after co-parenting their newborn son. She still has been living with us, and it has been no problem. I soon realized that the money from my nightstand in my bedroom had been disappearing. I had never left a huge amount of money in there, but it was in there just in case. My sister had been buying her son very expensive things. She doesn't have a job, so I've been a little suspicious on how she bought all of these items. Yes, I want the best for her and her son, and I have asked her numerous times to get a job, and I can watch her son as I'm a stay-at-home mom. One day, more than just money disappeared. My iPad, my mother's necklace, and around 200 pounds, and a watch went missing. That week, my sister came home with new baby clothes, toys, Pampers, etc. She was even wearing new clothes and accessories. I questioned her about my items, and she denied that she even took them. I still was a little suspicious, but I decided to let it go as I could easily replace those items. I decided to set up cameras around my house in case she had been taking my things. I was showering and my husband was at work and my stepsister was watching the kids. I leave the bathroom to see my room is in a mess. My dresser had been gone through and my nightstand was left open and everything in it was missing. I immediately went to my stepsister and asked her about my missing items, and she continued denying, and I told her that I was going to check the cameras, and her face went pale. I pulled out my phone and I reviewed the footage to see my sister entering my room and leaving minutes later with a lot of my missing items. She screamed in my face and said it was her only source of income, and she shouldn't have to steal these things. Instead, they should be given to her as she has been a huge help and needs money for her son. I told her to give me back all of my things or I will get the cops involved. She said no, as she needed the money. So I told her to get her son and leave my house. She went to our father's house with my stepmother, and they have been blowing up my phone and calling me selfish for not helping her with money, as she cannot afford to buy things for her son, and my husband makes plenty, so I should help her. So am I the jerk in this situation? Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. First of all, now is a great time to talk to the police, because if you file a police report, then pawn shops, if she's been selling these to pawn shops, they may have to put a freeze on the items and you might be able to get them back that way. But yeah, you're not in the wrong for not wanting her stealing your stuff.
So I think that really depends on how far OP wants to take this. And if the OP wants to report them to the police, they can. It sounds like none of this stuff is anything that they actually really are going to miss, and it sounds like they can afford it. And I guess it really depends if OP really wants to make her potentially face consequences, legal consequences. Maybe kicking her out of the house is enough of a legal consequence. I don't know. My question is, did she ask for money? I mean, I know OP was like, you should go get a job, and I think she just didn't want to go get a job, so she resorted to stealing. I don't know. I don't feel like this is a very good resolution for her. Maybe she should have actually gotten a job if stealing was her only source of income.
Yeah, and I mean, I think also, I'm wondering what dad and stepmom have heard about the story. Like, either she's a golden child or they've heard a very skewed version of events. And so, I mean, you have the security camera footage that you can prove to them if they don't know that she actually has been stealing your stuff, that that's what she's been doing.
Well, and on top of that, now she's getting really, really sloppy with all the stuff she steals and
Mm-hmm.
brazen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she left a huge mess, and there's not like someone who broke into the house, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious who stole all the stuff here. And I think OP knew it from the beginning that this stuff wasn't just growing legs and walking away.
Right, and she just assumed OP would never call her on it. And she could just deny. I mean, dad and stepmom might need a heads up because who's to say she won't do that while living with them?
Yeah. My only problem, I guess, would be if OP didn't tell her husband about the security cameras in their bedroom.
So that's fair.
And other than that, I mean, I don't think that OP did anything wrong. Like, there's a expectation that you can set up security cameras in your own private spaces. It's not like these were set up throughout the house or anything like that. So as long as the husband was fine with the security cameras in the bedroom, I don't think that there was anything wrong with setting them up here. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Aggressive Bed 3269 says, not the jerk. This is ridiculous entitled behavior. It's great that she was a huge help to you, and if she had come to you and asked you, I bet you would have been happy to help her. But she didn't. Instead, she's been stealing things from you and then lying directly in your face about it. Then she even doubled down by refusing to give you the items back after admitting that she stole from you. You did the right thing by getting her out immediately. It's pretty easy to see where the entitled monster was created. Nothing entitles you to steal from anyone else, especially someone who opened their home to you and supported her. It's emotional manipulation. I do want to touch on the childcare aspect, right? So if she was helping out OP with childcare responsibilities and they weren't compensating her potentially monetarily, then that might have been a way to help her out, right? If she's helping out with the kids and she's helping with taking care of kids, then having her do that kind of work might be meaningful and worthwhile. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to get tattooed and wanting my deposit back? I'm a 22-year-old female, and I had a tattoo appointment for the other day to get an ornamental design on my sternum, so in between my breasts, basically. I was pretty nervous about getting something in that spot since I would be pretty exposed, but I already have a few tattoos by that artist and I trust him. He always takes an $80 deposit. He has moved studios since I got tattooed last by him, and the new studio was sectioned off in two areas. One was more like a waiting and consultation area, and the other was intended for tattooing. But there were like 3 stations set up in the waiting area as well. He explained that he had to get some more artists on board to keep up with the cost, so we would be doing the tattoo in the front section. I wasn't comfortable getting tattooed done out with no top on in the open like that. He argued that I would have been seen in the old studio too, which is true, but it would have been a few with other tattoo artists and their clients only. Here, basically, anyone could walk in off the street and see me with my breasts out. The front window was also partially see-through, and I could see the stations from outside when I was walking by. I said that I would only get it done today if we could move to the back area, but he said that wasn't possible, so I could either get it done here or I could come back on a less busy day. But he would keep my deposit for the time that I wasted. I tried arguing to get my $80 back, but he kept getting louder with me. And I and the 2 artists in the front and the people waiting started whispering and staring at me, so I just left out of shame. I texted my artist that evening trying to explain my point of view, but he hasn't replied yet. My boyfriend says that I was being a coward and that my artist is right to keep the money, but I don't think that I'm in the wrong either. Sure, he did lose money on me walking out, but he didn't even try to see if anyone in the back was able to switch stations or anything. Edit for clarification, I did ask if I could wear something to cover up my breasts, and he said that it would get in the way. I was willing to reschedule at first, but not for another $80 that wouldn't go towards my tattoo. I would have been happy to compromise, do a $40 deposit or something like that, or anything that shows understanding for my concerns, but instead he yelled at me. A negative review has been made. All right, folks, what do you think?
Very much not the jerk here. What he's doing is not okay. I haven't been in like tattoo shops or something, so I don't really understand the layouts, but it's reasonable to expect some level of privacy, even if especially if you're getting tattoos done in intimate areas. And if he was going to do it up front or where there was even a chance of it, he should have notified OP during the booking process.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, if it's a busy day, we might have to do the tattoos in the front. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And so I think the way he handled the situation was completely inappropriate. And I would not recommend getting any more tattoos from this person. He doesn't seem like he cares about his clients at all, about their comfort and safety. And so, yeah, I don't think OP's in the wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is certainly a level of privacy expectation, and OP knew in the old place that there was a certain level of privacy expectation, and that's the level of privacy and expectation that they were willing to go with, right? He changed the circumstances, right? So because he moved shops, he no longer was able to offer the same level of privacy that OP wanted. And so this falls on him. He should have made the appropriate accommodations and explained the situation before OP's tattoo appointment. That way she could have opted out, and that way he wouldn't have had to lose out on a customer.
It sounds like there were other tattoo artists working that same day. That's why they had to be in the front. You would think that as however many people they are, they could have come up with a schedule putting the clients with more private needs in the back and the others in the front. It just seems like really bad scheduling.
He knew that this was going to be happening, and he didn't do anything to make sure that this was scheduled in a way that would accommodate her and her potential privacy concerns. Instead, he just did whatever was most convenient for himself.
Yeah, and so a negative review is well warranted. People deserve to know. It doesn't seem like he lets anyone know this going in, and so people deserve to know if they're getting intimate tattoos that, like, oh, hey, you might have to hang out topless in front of the entire city.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Clarity by Hilarity says, not the jerk. I think it's totally unreasonable for an artist not to have any type of coverage available for tattoos in private areas. For anyone who walks in to be able to view you topless, I think that's bad business. Almost every studio that I know has some sort of portion for people who don't want to be seen. Normally deposits are non-refundable, but as a woman, for anyone to just be able to see your breasts off the street, no way. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Update on My Brother and His Prosthetic Leg. So this is an update to the story where OP didn't want their brother over for Christmas because he had a prosthetic leg he carried everywhere with him. And hang on to your seats folks, because we're in for a ride. I didn't realize how much attention this was going to get. Enough that someone informed the woman that my brother stole it from, and she was able to figure out what happened. She called the cops, and he got arrested. I guess he was sort of trying to do the thing where he could be the hero that tracked down her leg. Please don't ask me what was going through his head. The leg was expensive enough that he's facing real criminal charges. That's it. Sorry that there is not more to tell. Alright folks, what do you think of that update?
That is, wow, that's a lot. That answers the question of where the leg came from. But I still don't think we know why he has it, like, because if he just took the leg to be the hero, then, like, you'd think he would hide it away. Not that that's okay, but, like, you'd think he would just hide it away instead of bringing it with him everywhere.
It is strange. I don't know. It's almost like it's a trophy for him.
Yeah.
I think that he was trying to trophyize this whole thing where he could walk around with his trophy until he brought it back to the woman and was like, look, I did you this huge favor. And some people were suggesting that he has a thing for people with prosthetics, and then if he gave her back her prosthetic, then this would be like him being able to have access to that fantasy too. So he may be involving someone in his secret desires, if you will. And I think that that's very, very problematic. And I think that he deserves jail time, and I hope he gets what's coming to him. Because this is medical abuse. Like, you don't get to steal people's body parts.
Yeah.
I know you would think that in 2024, we wouldn't have to say that. But yes, we really do have to say it, I guess. Don't steal people's body parts. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care, and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, but it just isn't either of these options. It's not Earl Grey today. I would have normally done Earl Grey, so if you guess Earl Grey, that's the tea I would have gone with, but I am out of Earl Grey. So I will be doing a mystery tea for this week. And Amber has a joke.
What do a silver birch and a vocal puppy have in common?
A silver birch and a vocal puppy?
Yes.
I would imagine it's that their bark is worse than their bite.
I mean, you're on the right track. They both have a lot of bark.
They both have a lot of bark. Yes, they do. And I have an apple cinnamon tea. I don't remember its name exactly, but we can be like apple cinnamon tea. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy special Sunday. Folks, you know what makes it special? You do. And Amber too.
Aw.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it involve a prosthetic.
I mean, I think you've already said this, but I'm going to echo it. Don't steal people's body parts.
Don't steal people's body parts. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.